What's up, guys? It's Shane here from House of Cards TCG. I just went to the Philadelphia Regional, wound up not getting the exact result I wanted. I got 26th place, lost the last round. If I would have won, that would have given me 25 points. I would have came in 7th place, 6th or 7th, but wound up taking the L, lost to evenly matched, and then plus a Book of Moon on my Rise Heart. Games 1 and 2, and I have so many outs of that in my deck, which I want to go over with you guys, but didn't draw them, so wound up, I went X2-1, 2 losses, 1 draw, wound up in 26th place. Not the exact result I wanted, but still pretty good. So, and I'm actually not going to the 250th YCS in California, so I'm going to go ahead and leak the goo to you guys, show you I have a few spicy techs. You can potentially bring it to the YCS, see how it does. Make sure to like the video, comment down below if there's any thoughts that you had, anything that you would change, if you like the build, if you want to try it. And make sure to subscribe to the channel because we're really trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. We're a little under 2,600 and really want to get that up, so we really appreciate your support. And let's hop right in.
House of Cards.
TCG.
Okay, so we have 3 Fenrir, pretty obvious, best card in the deck. 3 Unicorn, obvious. Only 1 Arise Heart. The second one never came up. I was a little nervous about only playing 1, but it just never came up. 1 Scareclaw Kashtira, you only need 1. 1 Ogre, it's just for the combo. Searches Preparation, searches Big Bang. I liked it. I went for it a lot. Preparations just gives you a lot of follow-up, and otherwise the deck can kind of struggle with follow-up. I played 4 field spells, so 3 and 1 Terraforming. 3 Theosis. Again, a lot of this is pretty standard. You just want to have a good, consistent engine. 3 Birth, best spell card. 3 Prosperity. This card was broken all day. Probably get hit on the next ban list. Card's crazy. 1 Preparations. 1 Big Bang. In retrospect, the Big Bang could probably go. I didn't zone lock for 5 anyone the whole day. I never really drew well enough to do it, and when I did, I was just afraid I would get nibbed. You would really only go for it if I draw the full combo, which is a 3-card combo plus Crossout. Just didn't come up as much as I thought it would. So I did play Crossout. This card was really good all day. I played a decent amount of Kashtira mirrors. So obviously this card is insane in the Kashtira mirror. Even like going second, you set it, you can cross out the Prosperity, which is nuts. You can cross out the field spell. I did that a couple times. I crossed out Birth once, and that just won me the game. This card is absolutely crazy in the mirror match, and just in other, even rogue matchups like Math Mech, they play so many hand traps. You can just cross out the hand trap, and sometimes you need that card to resolve, or else you just lose, because the deck, you really need the Unicorn to resolve most of the time to grab the Birth or Theosis to be able to even play. So Crossout was really good. I also played, well, you'll see, I'll go over it. 3 Ash Blossom. This card was crazy, but not for the reason I thought it was going to be good. I thought it was going to be really good because I was going to see a decent amount of Branded Despia, and this card's just a god card versus them. If you draw this, you pretty much win the game. I only played 1 Branded Despia, and funny enough, I did not draw this card, and he 2-0'd me. He just crushed me. Nothing I could do. He just outplayed me, frankly, and I didn't draw the FTK. But this card was nuts against Labyrinth. I played 2 Labyrinth opponents, and this card just cut them off from getting to their engine. I ashed either the Welcome or the Big Welcome, and from there, their deck was just trap cards that, without the engine, Labyrinth engine flowing, they just weren't able to generate enough advantage. They had like a Tears of the Overroot, or I don't even know what other trap he had, but I had Forbidden Lands to answer that too. So the main deck's really good versus the Labyrinth matchup because of Ash Blossom applying a lot of pressure, and then you have other ways to beat their trap cards, which are normally pretty powerful. 2 Book of Moon. This should have been 3. I played the 1 Eclipse, but this card should probably be cut for the Book of Moon, because Eclipse is just so bad if you go first and you draw it. It's awful. You never want to Book of Moon your own Arise Heart. It's like, I guess okay if you have a Lance, but it's just bad. Book of Moon's just better. I would play 3 Book of Moon. 2 Imperm. Imperm was really good. It's just solid versus every matchup. It doesn't really have a bad matchup, I guess, Labyrinth, but you could still hit if they normal summon. If you hit that, sometimes that cuts them off from the engine too. So Imperm was good. I played 2 Lance. In retrospect, one of the Imperms should probably just been Lance. Lance was crazy all day. I kept getting Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse, Imperm, and Lance is just crazy versus that. I got Imperm so many times on my Rise Heart. And like I said, that last round, round 10, it was a 10-round regional, which was a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh for one day. But round 10, I just got Book of Moon game 1 and 2 and didn't have the Lance. I'm siding the third, but it just should be a main because everyone's on Book of Moon, everyone's on Eclipse, everyone's on Imperm. So you have to have outs to these cards. I played 2 evenly matched. This card was really good. I only drew it like going first once, and you just set it, and it's not great, but you just need board breakers going second because sometimes they just set a bunch of traps and you have to have this card. I played 1 Nib just for the cross out. Nib was good. One time I hard drew at game 1 going against Plunder Patrol, and I nibbed him for everything. He still wound up winning that game, but that was actually my draw. So Nib helped that matchup. Let's go over the extra deck. So there's some spicy cards in here. Like I said, I wasn't gonna give them out, but I'm not going to the 250th YCS. So I think this package will be good for that event. And be on the lookout. I'm gonna do a combo tutorial as well. Everyone who looked at my extra deck was wondering how I utilize these cards. They were asking me about it after the duel, so I'll go over the combo tutorial for that. I did 2 Shangri-La. You need this for the combo I'm gonna talk about. Having 2 is just good. You summon this a lot in the grind game. If they like hand trap you to death, you need this to be able to just get recursion. Summon out in the standby phase is really strong for follow-up. And also this card's kind of hard to out because you can detach instead of being destroyed by battle or card effect. So it's pretty sticky, so it's a good card. Only 2 Arise Heart. Most of my opponents were playing 3. The third one never came up for me, never. People were saying, oh, if they rip it out, like they could rip both. It just doesn't come up. I would just play 2. 2 Zeus. This one you just play 2 because in the mirror match, Zeus is really powerful. Zeus is really strong versus the trap decks. You just want to have 2. Sometimes you just hard make the 2. 2 Big Eye. I would cut the second Big Eye. This should have been a Draco Sack. I didn't play Draco Sack because I had a lot of outs to skill drain in my main inside, and I thought the Big Eye would come up more in the mirror match. I never summoned this card, which is crazy. You would think that you summon this card a lot. In testing, I summoned this card a lot in the mirror matches. It's just really powerful, but it never came up. So I don't know if that was just me misplaying, but my opponent really didn't summon Big Eye a lot either. So I would cut the second one. It should be Draco Sack. Dark Arm, this card is crazy. I summon this card all the time. It's just your removal plus it can clear out the graveyard. So I'm playing Shifter in the side. You can actually clear out your Shifter from the graveyard and Shifter them again if you draw multiples. It also has really beneficial plays that you can do with the Kashtira Theosis where because this card's not once per turn. Multiple people had to read it and see it's not once per turn. So you can banish a Kashtira card from your graveyard and then banish Theosis and add it back. So it's really strong play. I played 1 Diablosis. I don't think I summoned this card more than once or twice. Just my strategy was a Rise Heart Pass, and it really worked. It worked really well. This is the package that everyone who looked at my extra deck was asking about. So I played the 1 Utopic Future and the 1 F-Zero. So I guess they're both F-Zero, but the Draco. This is any 2-card combo within your deck can end on this guy plus your Rise Heart. So it's a really strong play. It does play into Nib, but it only plays into Nib in the sense that you're not going to get to this guy, but you're always going to be able to get to the Arise Heart. Even if they Nib you, you still have the Birth Lab to summon back and then go into the Arise Heart. It's not going to have 3 materials, which kind of sucks, but it does give you a monster negate. The deck struggles, doesn't put up negates, so it's good to have one. This guy is really hard for some decks to out. He's really strong to make versus Trap Tricks. They go their normal summon because they have to normal summon. Very few extenders in the deck, and you just negate and take it. And then from there, they might have a few traps to set, but you're not afraid of those at that point. Like your board is established. So this guy's crazy. I would definitely recommend playing this. It's only a 2-card package. It's only these 2 cards that you have to play. Nothing in your deck changes, and it gives you extra flexibility to go into this play. You can also go into this play if you're like on the way to the 5 zone lock and you get stopped by like an imper mash. You can still, so basically you turn the 2 Shangri-Eras into the F-Zero, and then that goes into Draco Future. But I'll go over that. Like I said, be on the lookout for a combo tutorial. 1 Donner. I actually had to summon this guy a couple times. I played a Scareclaw deck. That deck is scary with the Link 3 because you have very few outs to that card in your deck. And I had to go into the Donner, and luckily he didn't have the protection in the graveyard. If he did, then I don't know what I would have done, lost. But you have to make this card to get yourself out of sticky situations. The only card I played for the Arise Heart material was Goliath. I think this one is the highest value card. It's really good into the Naturia Runic matchup, and that's a tough matchup. So having this forces them to use 2 of their Runic cards, and you can banish it with Arise Heart anyway. So they can't just pop your Arise Heart. It's also really good into Pankratops. I played Pankratops. I think that card's crazy in the mirror match. I didn't go against it once, but I summoned it all the time. You get into it a lot with Prosperity. So having the Goliath, people are playing Darkhold, people are playing Regeki. Having the Goliath, I think, is the most high value. Other people are playing like Garura, they're playing the Intis, they're playing the Fossil one that pops a back row. I think those cards are just probably not needed. I'd rather have the flex spots in my extra deck to allow me more plays rather than just getting like a cute material under my Arise Heart. So I think the Goliath is mandatory because of Naturia Runic, but otherwise the other ones I think are probably not needed. 1 Baron. This card came up actually a lot because you can normal summon the Ash, and that gives you a pop. In a simplified game state, you'd be surprised how strong a Baron is. So I liked Baron a lot. Let's do the side deck. 3 Shifter. This card is mandatory in my opinion. You need it for the Math Mech, you need it for Naturia Runic. It hits rogue decks. You're playing like a hero deck, you're playing like a Sun Avalon deck. This card's crazy. It helps you too, so like why not play it? It's an FTK versus like Tier Element. Like so many decks just are hampered by this. You might as well just play it. I played the extra 2 Nib. I figured this event, most people were not going to be playing Nib because the strategy right now, the best strategy is probably just the Arise Heart Pass, and that doesn't play into Nib. But when people think that the best strategy is Arise Heart Pass, they're not going to play Nib. So I wanted to play Nib because I thought people would play Greedy into Nib. So kind of a reverse psychology, and it worked. I nibbed a couple people, and it really hurt them. They were just playing right into it, just keep summoning, utilizing all their resources, and end domain, you just nibbed them. So it was really good. Pank was really good. This card was insane for me all day. It's a summon, free summon, going second. You can pop a card. It gets rid of it off of your field, so it doesn't conflict with your engine. And it tributes for cost, so it's not like they could even stop it from leaving the field. And it's a quick effect. I had one dude make an Alsa and steal my Pank, and that kind of sucked. But what can you do about that? This card was crazy. If they make a Rise Heart Pass and I just summon Pank and they don't have the Goliath, they're cooked. I win. So this card was crazy. I would highly recommend playing a Pank. It's also a level 7. You could normal it if you have Birth. It has a lot of synergy with the deck. You could overlay it. It's a really strong card. I don't know why people aren't playing this. Really good into like a skill drain. Really good into any floodgate. Like, I don't care about floodgates with this card. The deck is pretty strong into floodgates anyway. I played the 3rd Evenly Matched, the 3rd Lance. These cards I just needed to have for the trap. I was expecting to play against Labyrinth and Trap Tricks, and I played a lot of them. I played 2 Labyrinth, 2 Trap Tricks, only 1 Mirror, I think, 1 Scareclaw. I'm trying to think what my other matchup was. It was Scareclaw Adventure and then Plunder Patrol. I'll post in the comments what my rounds were and my results. So actually 2 Cosmics, 1 Feather Duster. Again, you just need these cards. There's so many back row decks flying around. Thank you, Pack, for making everyone play Trap Tricks. Well, not making, but Trap Tricks called on. There was so many Trap Tricks at this event. There was probably more Trap Tricks than Labyrinth. I think Labyrinth is a stronger deck. So these were really good into both matchups. I wanted Cosmic over something like Lightning Storm because Trap Tricks has the protection effect where you can't, the first time the back row cards would be destroyed, they're not. So Cosmic Banishes gets you around that. And then this card you can side in going first. Whereas Lightning Storm would feel terrible to side in going first if that's your only back row removal. So Cosmics were really good all day. It's even good in the mirror match. The siding pattern is weird in the mirror match for me, but so I didn't really side these in, but it's also really good. You can hit the field spell, you can hit the birth, and both of those are highly impactful. One a pointer. This card is crazy in this deck because whatever you rip off of it, they're not getting it back because you can attach it under your Rise Heart. So that interaction is really strong. This also helps you not lose to something like a Kaiju, which a lot of people were on Kaijus. It's unfortunate this card's at 1. If it was at 3, I'd play it at 3 because of the amount of Kaijus. Cards like Kurikara, Div Incarnate, you just really hard to play around that card. You can't. So you have to appoint or rip it, or else you just lose to it. Like I said, if this was at 3, I'd play it at 3. I saw some lists. So the last card is Judgment. I saw some lists like not play a pointer and just play the Judgment, but I think that's incorrect because you simply lose to a Kaiju, whereas this card doesn't. This card was insane all day, just saying no to like a Book of Eclipse, or even, I had to use this on a Book of Moon once. I used this on a Rite of Aramesir against my Scareclaw Adventure opponent, and it just won me the game. So, I mean, this card's crazy. In a deck that kind of thrives in a simplified game state, like the Arise Heart Pass, this card is crazy because there's only a select few outs to it. Like if they had a Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse, you shut that off. And then most decks right now, their engine cannot play through the Arise Heart. Having the macro plus the quick effect banish is crazy. So Judgment was really good. The only thing I would think I would change, like I said throughout the video, there's like the Lance needs to be in there in the main deck. The Book of Moon, I never cross out Book of Eclipse, it never came up. And then Book of Eclipse is just a worse draw than Book of Moon. But all in all, the deck was really good. It actually, I think the deck list carried me because I hadn't had a lot of practice with this deck. I was playing Branded Despy up until like a week ago. So having a strong list really carried me throughout the tournament, whereas my technical gameplay was probably not there yet. It was really good practice. But yeah, that's the list. Let me know down below what you think, if there's anything that you would change, any commentary. I always like to hear constructive feedback, so don't be shy. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, help us get to 3K. It really means a lot. We appreciate your support. This is Shane from House of Cards TCG, signing out.